Thanks for having us. My name is ABO or Anne. I'm the co-founder and lead artist of Stoned Ape Crew. We are the biggest cannabis NFT in Web3 and one of the largest communities on Solana with more than 70K community people in our community. And we have in real life products, and I co-founded the project 2 years ago. And the PFP project is still one of the most used PFPs, one of the 30 most used PFPs of all the time, and also cross-chain. And this is Chantalle.
Thanks for introducing me. So I'm Chantalle. I'm the co-founder of Meta Brew Society, which is the easiest to explain as if you're a holder, you get free beer. So you have two of our holders. So you have here like cannabis. I'm having beer. Yeah, and I'm next to being the co-founder and doing all the business development and networking, like sitting here and talking to you. I'm also a brand designer since about 10 years. So that's why we are here and tell you a bit about bullish art and branding and what we think is important about that.
Awesome. So let's start with you then, Chantalle. What do you think is most important for the branding process in order to set up a bullish PFP project?
Okay, I would say it doesn't matter if it's like a Web 2 or Web 3 brand. It's super important that really the branding is not just the logo and colors. It really like fits like the core values of a company, especially like in Web 3, and get the right target audience, and that you really have something more unique, that if you see something, doesn't matter if you're scrolling through social media or crossing by when you're at a conference and see at the venue something like a roll-up or such, or if you're on a website, it's good if it's recognizable. So it's not just the colors or the fonts or the logo, it's like a good branding is if it's telling the same story on every single touch point. So also if you're talking to someone, if someone is standing in front of a booth or something and talking to you, it's better if it's the same language and voice, like tone of voice, which is matching on the website and on every single touch point, like the consumer or target audience is connecting with it. Because then it's more than just nice design, then it's actually getting into a brand. Like for example, if you're going to Fifth Avenue to the flagship store of Nike, it tells the same story like on social media and on the website. So that's for me like what's super important about branding and on the brand process. It's to really get the core values of a brand. So taking a step back, really dive deep into what is the company about and get that on paper and digital and everything.
What are like very unique branding elements in your project?
I would say as we have a real life utility with beer, we have like everything which is online for a normal Web3 project. So website, of course, Twitter and such, so all the social media designs, but also has to match like the can designs. And as we're going to a lot of conferences and have like also white label can designs, that all has to match at the end. So for us, it's mostly important to get it also out in real life and not just digitalize. And I think that is something for you too, because for Stoned Ape Crew, you have also in real life products at the end. So maybe dive more into the art thing, because I think we're at the art stage, so a lot of people are maybe interested in art. What do you think is super important to create a bullish PFP art? So what is like a really important part to stand unique? Doesn't maybe when you're having can explain something about Stoned Ape Crew?
I think that our superpower as PFP artists is to create art which makes your holders to super fans. So I mean, in the end, PFP art is about digital identity, and you really have to create a character where people can identify with, and they really are so proud of this NFT and this PFP, and are so in love with that, and have this emotional utility that they really want to spread the brand message everywhere, share with their friends, colleagues, and also go on Twitter and just really share this brand message to other people. And I think if you really turned your holders into super fans with the art, you really made it. A very concrete example is, for example, in our 4,200 collection, there is a beanie, and our holders formed the Beanie DAO. They were so amazed by this beanie that they produced the beanies in real life, and also had an on-chain and minted them, and they were instantly sold out. And really produced and realized this is really cool that you managed to create trades where people became super fans from and spread them to others.
Do you have, like, in your project trades who are super popular or people really love, like, for example, the beanie, but are there some trades which people are really craving for?
Mm-hmm. So we wanted to break the stigma around cannabis, and that's why we had 4 different roles. In our collection we have the scientists, farmers, artists, and business apes. And the business apes are very popular, as well as the 420 goggles. So they are wearing goggles they are basically wearing watches as goggles with 420 on it. Also with cheetah fur, super popular, and also the farmers.
Okay, I know that sometimes you try to engage with the holders to get them more also into the art process. How did you do that, and how do they like it? Like, what did you do in that area?
Mm-hmm. I think if you start to do the concept, you really have to think of how can you create a trade where people become super fans in the end. So they should be able to identify with it, of course. So you should start and study your characters. So I'm not a typical artist, I'm a psychologist and did a lot of character studies beforehand. I had a focus group of 10 to 15 stoners. And that's, for example, that's also the reason why our PFP is left-facing and not right-facing, because there are psychological studies on left-facing PFPs seems to be more emotional than right-facing PFPs. They look more confident. And I really wanted to become our community to be super welcoming to everybody. And I also had the hypothesis that PFPs that are left-facing look more stoned and distant as right-facing PFPs. I also asked my focus group, so that's why our project is one of the projects that have left-facing PFPs.
I didn't know that, so that's pretty cool. What is like your favorite part of the design process if you're going dig deeper, if you're thinking about how to create really a PFP art?
So I guess the concept is super fun to run around and think of a creative process to think of new traits and how they can fit into this character studies. I really love that, but I also love, to be honest, the final process. I love to color. I love to color characters because you can listen to music and just chill during that. So I love the start and the and the end of that. What about you? Like, what is your favorite part about branding?
I think, to be honest, I'm maybe not the typical designer because when I was younger or started with design, I really enjoyed the design part. But now I really enjoy like the business development part, to really see who I want to attract, what is the core values of our company, and how to bring that into colors and into fonts, and really usually the part where I dig deeper in what really the company is at the end, and get that bigger picture. Like, think some years in front, like, what could we do in the next 5 years? I know most of the people don't like that question. Me neither, because you never know what in 5 years is, also business-wise. But having like the Polar Star where you want to go, and then create the brand look, and maybe have a look on the market, what's out on the market. But if you're really digging deeper into who if you see like a brand as a person, who the brand is, and get like this unique-ish thing that it couldn't be any other brand. Like that part, at the beginning, the part, I enjoy that one the most. Usually, I mean, with MetaBrew, as it's also like my company, I know who we are, but if I'm doing branding for other companies, doesn't matter if it's Web 2 or Web 3, really dig deeper with the founders, get to know who really the clients are, and that's like my favorite part.
Amazing. What do you think are common mistakes in branding?
To not do branding, I would say, because a lot of companies usually just focus on, okay, we have some colors, we have that font, and here's our logo, just go. And if you're working together with different kind of consultants or designers or videographs or something, and you don't have that road you have to go, everything on every channel looks different. So really take a step back at the beginning and see how that brand should look like, and get, for example, the classic corporate design manual, like a PDF, where you have like the most important things written down. That doesn't matter if you have internals or like working together with external designers or whoever, that looks all the same. I would say this is super important, because that makes every next step so much easier.
So consistency.
Yeah, because then you're really getting the brand at the end, or that's the plan, actually.
Awesome. Yeah, do you have any questions to ask?
I want to ask the same. Does anyone have any questions to design, branding, art, something? Yeah.
Did you ask the size of the collection? Yeah. Okay. So I think that storytelling is super important for NFT projects. So of course our collection is 4,200 NFTs. That's our size, because 420 is so important to us. But yeah, it really depends on your objectives. So if you want to keep it very rare, I would rather go for less. I think your collection is it's
we just stopped the mint at 1,516, which is also very important. Like das bayerische Reinheitsgebot, a very important number for beer in Germany. Yeah.
But if you really want to reach out to a very big community, you can also go for bigger collections, like 10 or 20K, of course. I think in the future it could really become interesting to go for bigger sizes in order to have a big community backing you and spreading your message. So yeah, it really depends on your objectives. What kind of projects do you have? Okay.
Any more questions, someone, to something?
Okay, thank you, Dan. Thanks for having us.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you.
All right.